Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I had put a poll up on the community tab to see which video you guys wanted to see first. This is the one you guys picked and voted for, so today we are jumping into some of my favorite mobile accessories. So if you're excited for that, keep on watching. Welcome to Shelly Saves the Day. On this channel, we're talking about tech that you need to make YouTube videos and how to do video editing. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe. Would love to have you be part of the family. And by the way, if you didn't know, that subscribe button and that subscribe button, both for sale in my Etsy shop. If you're interested, links are down below. I have picked out some of my favorite mobile accessories, and I tend to think about them as ones that you would use to possibly, either take videos or photos. So that's kind of where my head is with that. All right, so let's just jump into it. No particular order. One of the first items that I would talk about would absolutely be a phone case. Now, a lot of the time, I know you're thinking like that's not that exciting or fancy, but first of all, can we talk about this one, how pretty it is? This is from my friend Kimber's shop, and I will put a link down below. I believe I still have a discount code for you to use, so I will put that down there if you want to get one for yourself. I don't get anything from it, it's just for you guys to save money, but these have these attached phone grips on them. So that's going to be one of my first accessories here. So is the combination between, a case as well as a phone grip. Now everyone knows like Nuckies, and these are of course used universally and they're great. And this is a competing company, and this company is called Nuckies. Now one of the things that I love so much are these cases are color coordinated and perfectly matched with a corresponding one. So the difference between Nuckies and a pop socket is going to be something like this, where it can go off into multiple angles, and so you can put it in your fingers like this. So I have found that the circular part of this is just a tiny bit bigger than the pop socket. So if you have like a car phone mount, I have found that it doesn't quite fit. So that's the only drawback. But anyways, that is the first item, and I just want to say it's just nice to have, phone protection and have it be cute and color coordinated, and like how cool is this that it like matches and everything, right? So I think that this is really awesome. I use this honestly a lot of the time to prop it up for when I'm watching videos. Maybe that's just me. All right, moving on. So I do want to talk about something that I do not like, okay? I do not like this type of phone holder, okay? It's the, ooh, that's not a great sound. It's kind of the hard one, and it doesn't have a crank of any kind, and this is just not it for me. I find that it can scratch the phone coming on and off, and I'm going to show you one that I would absolutely recommend over one like this, okay? So one that I would recommend, I'm going to tell you right now, don't mess around with the other ones. Get the Ulanzi. Ulanzi is just, it's absolutely the best one. So it has like a screw down, so it's gonna like hold it nice and tight, and it is one of the only ones that gives you enough clearance across the back. So even if you have a case and a pop socket or something like that on, it will still actually be able to hold it, okay? And what's important about that is a lot of other grips, and I'll show you here. A lot of other grips are going to make it so that you can't actually close around it. So you're going to end up doing something like this. So you're very like off center from where the rest of the phone is. And that just, it really, really bugs me. I like to have it like centered, just weight purposes, all of that stuff. And this is one of the few that's actually going to do that. Also, don't mess around. You want to get the ones with the cold shoe mount up here. So this is so that you can mount a light, you can mount a microphone. There's so many options for this, and it comes in so handy. So try not to get one that doesn't have this particular thing. Now, a couple of alternatives that you can use. There's one by Kiwi. Where is it? This one is a smartphone stand in a swivel like this. So this is going to come into play because I really, really enjoy these. This, unlike the other one, it has a little bit more give, but it still kind of like grabs tight. It's way better than this guy. I don't like this one. And it still also has the cold shoe mount adapter at the top, as well as the built-in level on this. So this is really, really nice. And one other one that doesn't have the cold shoe mount that is pretty good is going to be one like this. So again, it has the like swivel on the back, so you can take it from a vertical to a portrait orientation really, really quickly. Of course, if you don't want to use it with that, it still has the 1/4 inch screw on the back, so you can do that. And It doesn't have the cold shoe mount, but it does have a tightening mechanism at the top that is going to hold it nice and tight. Now, this one does have some room, but it doesn't have as much as the Ulanzi. So certain phone cases with certain grips, you may not be able to do this directly over where the grip is. You may have to go on the side, like I said, on the other one. But this is actually not a bad option as well. And don't worry, everything that I'm talking about is going to be linked down in the description box, so if you want to get any of this stuff, you can totally do that. Alright, so the next category we're going to move into are a couple of basically little like travel tripods. Of course, one that everybody kind of knows is the little Manfrotto Pixie, one like this, and this one does have a articulating ball head like this, so you can push down on it and then kind of rotate around at whatever you need to do. But it will not go to a 90 degree, it just kind of goes to a somewhat tilted orientation. So that's why it's really a good idea to pair it with one like this. Let's say the Kiwi, where we throw this on there. Then even though you can't go into this, that's as far as it goes. But if you have it upright and then turn the mount itself, you can still achieve the angles that you want. One drawback of this, besides the price, it's around $30, I think, is that if the legs are all the way flat, then it's very stable. But if you need it to be a little bit taller or anything else like that, it's sometimes not the greatest at staying in place, especially if you have something really heavy on top of it. It's going to kind of slide out, and depending on the surface that you place it on. So I kind of feel like this is a little bit more limiting sometimes if you have something really heavy on it, but it does have this basically ergonomic design, so you can grip onto it, and it's really easy to like throw in a purse or something like that. Now, if you need something that is also going to be travel friendly and you can really count on it to hold your legs up, you can use like a travel microphone stand. So I have two different examples that I can show you. So here is basically a small one like this. So the legs, once you do this, you can actually make them go pretty flat and wide like this. So this comes in really handy when you, let me put it back here, when you especially rotate your phone into a sideways orientation. Also, let's talk about this. This is the articulating ball head as well on top that I've added. So you can turn this and then you can put your phone in the vertical orientation like this. Now, this is an additional add-on that you would need, this piece right here. But on this something like this, because it's meant for like a little microphone stand, there's an additional piece as well that you would look at. So let me show you what that looks like. So when you take this off, you're going to see the size that this top is, but there's a little adapter piece in here. So this little silver piece right here is this adapter. So it goes from a 3/4 inch opening like this, so you can see how big the hole is here, into a 1/4 inch, which is basically like the tripod or, you know, smartphone type of size for all of these other accessories. Now, this particular size may also still be too big, so sometimes you have to get an adapter like this. This is all really common in the microphone world, but if it's not common to you, just saying this is something to keep an eye on, and this changes it from like the 1/2 inch to the 3/4 inch. Don't quote me on the sizes exactly, but sometimes know that you would need to have an adapter to go from one size to the other and make it so that you can add on all of your extra accessories. I will link all of these down below, don't worry. And so another stand that's also really good is going to be something like this. Now this one is a little bit heavier than the little tripod one like this, but this one is easy to travel with. But if this is going to sit on your desk, this one is like kind of metal, a little bit heavier, and this one, what I like about it, I'm going to show you, is that it can go higher than the other one, which is nice. So again, if you have this guy on there and then you throw on the adapter like this and the adapter like this, then you can end up with something like this where you can put this little guy on top. And of course, this is going to be a lot taller possibilities than this little Manfrotto guy. All right, but this one, because the legs don't really like come in or anything, you have to be okay with traveling with something that is this size and this heavy. Well, like I said, these are mic stands, so I find them really great for actually using them for a mic stand. So I have mine as an example with this guy, which is the Shure MV51 mic. By the way, I love this like retro mic, and this actually is another thing that I would talk about is additional accessories for your phone for microphones. Okay, so one thing that I really love about this, first of all, besides its cool retro look, is that you can use this with an Android phone, you can use this with an iPhone, and you can use this with your computer, with using different cables. So it's micro USB on one side, then you can use it, you know, to whatever connection you need on the other side. So this is one of the most versatile mics that you can get, instead of having to have, you know, one that's only USB for your computer and one that's only for your smartphone. You can have this one mic go across all of the different devices. So I really, really enjoy this mic. Really enjoy this mic. And it has all kinds of things like mute, which you wouldn't think is that big a deal, but I have other mics that are more expensive that don't have the mute on it, and you can just kind of use the touch across here, which is really nice. There's the headphone jack so you can monitor the sound, and it has different sound patterns. So if you're doing, you know, like singing, talking, playing instruments, stuff like that, it can kind of handle all of those different scenarios. So I really, really enjoy this mic. Another mic that's actually really good is going to be the portable mic, which is the Shure MV88 Plus. Now, what's really cool about this one, as opposed to the MV88, which was the model before, it had a direct lightning adapter on the bottom, so you could only use it with an iPhone and only plugged into the bottom of an iPhone that could fit it if the case allowed it. So some cases don't allow it, so you'd have to take the case off to be able to plug it in. Plus, it didn't swivel, so if you wanted to face it the other direction, you had to unplug it and turn it around, which wasn't the best. So this one's actually really, really cool. And all of those different phone stands that we have with a cold shoe mount, you can throw this guy on there, squeeze this down, put in your phone, you know, in whatever orientation, put in the cable, and be rocking with awesome sound. This one also has a headphone jack for monitoring sound, which is great because the MV88 did not. So this is really, really super awesome, and I love, there are different patterns on this one that you can use, so including like stereo or adjusting the scope on this one and like cardioid. So this is actually a really great mic as well. This is really, really cool. And if you get this with the kit, it will come with a basically a Manfrotto Pixie stand like this. The only thing is it comes with a little holder like this that only is going to support you in a horizontal orientation. So if you want it to be able to support a vertical orientation, then you kind of need to have a different like phone holder. Moving on, a couple of other little adapter type things that you might need. Like I talked about earlier, it's going to be something like this. If you use a little ball head like this, then it makes it that you can take your item and then kind of put it in a vertical orientation or in a horizontal orientation, or sometimes you just need a tiny bit of tilt, which is the case when it came to this guy right here. This is where I put it on. So this is the Switchpod, and this came from a company where it's actually started by Pat Flynn and Caleb W., which I can't pronounce his last name very well, so don't let me butcher it. This guy is a fancier ball head that I put on it because, like I said, sometimes you just need a tiny bit of tilt, and now on newer versions you can purchase these, but at the time they did not have them, so I went out and I purchased basically this guy like this. That way, when you are using this and its legs kind of swing open, if you need just a tiny bit of tilt, you can do that with this little articulating ball head guy. So that is just, this is so great to like carry around and travel. The only thing is you cannot at all adjust height on this. So it's just like, it is what it is. There's no changing it, but it's super easy and lightweight to like carry around, and it ergonomically kind of like comes backwards so that when you have your camera or phone or whatever else that you have on it, it's like really, really comfortable, and they made it out of a lightweight material, so it's not super heavy either. This is the Pivo, or Pivo, however you say that. This is a little electronic guy that hooks up via Bluetooth to your phone. It does have these tiny little built-in legs at the bottom, like this, so you can kind of extend them. I don't know if you saw that, but it also has the 1/4 inch here, so that you can, like I said, plug in on top of like any kind of tripod or something like that. So the cool thing about this, and if you see it, it can actually go 360 and articulate. And so the software that comes with this, you can hook it up so you can say, hey, like, hey, track my face, track my body, whatever else it is. So you can kind of move around, and it's kind of like having a cameraman with you. It will follow your body movements. So that's kind of neat. It also will do things like if you want to take like a picture that's half video, half still photo, you can do that because it will do that and then just kind of like rotate a little, and then it will like stitch them side by side, or it can do like almost this panorama where you kind of move to 3 different spots. I've done that before as well, so that's kind of fun. And it just charges via USB. There is a remote for this as well, but you can also train it to, you know, you can say a command or you can snap your fingers or clap your hands and it will take the photo for you. So that's kind of nice. So this is kind of a neat little accessory. Does everybody need this? No, but I mean, it's kind of fun, right? That's what all these are. These are fun. And not only that, if you have like, I think like Restream or something like that, you can hook it up through there and you can recognize it and you can, you know, have it be following you, body tracking while you're doing multi-streaming. So that's kind of cool right there. So the next thing as well, this little guy right here. This is actually a car suction mount thing, you know, for your car. But what you can also use this for, you can throw this in your purse or something like that. And then anytime that you're out and you wanted to do something like outfit of the day photos or something like that, instead of setting up a tripod, as long as you have a flat surface, this is kind of cool because this particular guy, it will articulate just a little bit. So imagine you're by a clothing store or whatever in the dressing room, as you do, sometimes taking outfit of the day pictures. You can do something like this, stick it to the window, right? Tighten this down. You can then kind of like put this into the position that you need, and if you needed to, you can actually extend it just a tiny bit. So this can actually come in pretty handy in lots of scenarios, and actually you could just use it while you're standing it up on a surface to honestly just watch videos because you can kind of mount it to a surface and stick it there and it kind of just like sit there and watch it. So I'm not saying that I have done that, but I'm not denying that I've done that either. And the cool thing is that you can kind of just place your phone in here. I'll show you. Let me place the phone in there. So once you place the phone in there and squeeze it down, you can kind of still get like a pretty good amount of tilt on this. And like I said, then after you unsticky it, you can just wash this off with water and then it's good to go again. So there you go. There is a cool little thing that you can do with that. Another thing that we're going to talk about is going to, I know we're winding down, I promise. I know I'm looking the time, it's pretty long already. This is a portable power bank, of course, right? This is awesome for charging on the go, and there's lots of accessories that can use this, and we're going to talk about a couple of them real quick, but basically if you had this, you could be charging your phone and charging the next thing I'm going to talk about, and you could have your little mobile studio on the go, all right? So here is another item that we're going to talk about. So this one is from Newer, however you guys actually say that. But this is a ring light, and then you see that I put the little articulating ball head on it with the cold shoe mount with the Ulanzi again. Always Ulanzi on this guy. So this one has a secondary mount here. So if you wanted to be that person, and sometimes you are, where you wanted to live stream on Instagram and then live stream as well on another site, something like that, you could certainly do that, or you could use this up here as the cold shoe mount for an additional like microphone and then have your phone here. Whatever you wanted to do, you could do that. And or actually you use one of these, right, that has a cold shoe mount on top. You could do the cold shoe mount and 2 phones. Absolutely, why not? But this is really, really cool because now you can multi-stream to 2 places, and this actually sends out a pretty good amount of light. It has different settings so you can do warm, cold, whatever, and then it comes with a tripod like this, which gets pretty high, maybe like 50 inches or so. And so this is a great little all-in-one setup. If you had this going on, you have your battery bank to power this, and then, you know, you're plugged in for your phone, like you're good to go. And you have a mobile studio either at home or on the go, whatever. I once went to Vid Summit and I tried to pack like this 14-inch ring light, and it took up so much room in my luggage, and then I never ended up even using it. This I probably would use. It's a lot lighter and easier to travel with. I would have much rather taken this. All right, moving on. I know this sounds simple, but right-angled charging cables, you know, for your iPhone, for whatever phone you're using, anything like that. This comes in so handy because when you have a phone and you need to charge it while it's sitting inside of some sort of stand like this, and you still need to be plugged in, honestly, you can use it for like the bottom, almost for more stability. You can use it so that it doesn't bend the cable as it would with a normal cable if it was still like upright. This is so, so handy to have. I would highly always recommend having a cable that has like a 90-degree. It just makes it so much easier. It just makes your life easier. All right, I think we're winding down. Like I said, and sometimes these little ball head mounts like I talked about earlier. Sometimes they just have the screw here for like a tripod, and if you need it in a cold shoe mount or something like that, then you really got to get like a little adapter like this guy. So it has the cold shoe mount adapter on the bottom, and then it has like a little stopper, and then the little 1/4 inch adapter on top. So this is what you use with this so that you can turn it into something that you can place inside of your little ring light or phone or whatever it is that has the cold shoe adapter. So I hope that makes sense. Like I said, those little adapters pieces, they're just things that you don't think about, but then you're like, oh, like you need them. So sometimes you do have to think about it. So if I have like ring lights up here and they each have little cold shoe holes, but they don't have the phone holder like this, then I'm gonna need to get this piece like this so that I can attach my swivel phone stand like this inside of my upper ring lights like this, like the bigger ones. And I like to have one like this that can rotate so that you don't have to sit there and take this piece out a whole bunch of times. So I definitely like these that actually will rotate much better than the ones that are kind of like solitary. Okay. 2 things left and then we'll be done. First things first, this is basically a little tripod, but it only comes up with this center piece here like this, and it extends. So this piece comes out and goes longer, and then it has, I'm gonna bring it back down, again, one of those articulating ball heads that I put on, and it will rotate it from a horizontal to a vertical. This one comes in really handy whenever you need to take photos of yourself and you're out and about and you want something that is still small enough to fit into like a bag or backpack. This guy, really, really good, and it's a little bit stronger than some of the other ones I've seen out there, and it goes a little bit taller, so there's that. You guys can benefit from my research, okay? Next thing is going to be this little arm mount like this, okay? So this part clamps onto your table. This part is going to clamp on usually, it could be, you know, a microphone, it could be like a webcam, it could be whatever, and it can be your cell phone. So I was actually talking to someone else. You can use this if you want to do a top-down shot or a webcam or whatever else it is. But again, you see where this is like meant for a microphone where it's bigger, then you're going to use those adapters like we've talked about, where you have this guy that's going to give you then the 1/4 inch so that you can plug it into something like this, and then you can actually mount this and your phone can be mounted above, while then your hands below can be doing whatever you need to. So this guy, super, super handy, and you can use it for so many things. Absolutely recommend that. Whew, we talked about a lot of stuff. I hope that this gives you some ideas. I'm just saying, did we look at everything on the table here? Yeah. If not, and if I skipped a whole bunch of stuff, we'll just make another video. But these are some ideas that I have. Again, like I said, all the links will be down below if you want to check this out and see any of the stuff for yourself. Oh, the other little thing I was going to say with this guy, with this kit, it does come with like a little remote, little Bluetooth remote. So handy, like this. The little Bluetooth remotes like this. I have like 5 of these. These come in so handy so that you can shoot pictures when you're out by yourself, set a timer, all that kind of stuff. This is so handy. This is the key. All right, so that's everything for today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you like it and subscribe. And if you like those subscribe buttons, make sure you go check out in the Etsy shop. I will see you all in a video very soon. Bye. Oh, next week there will be the video that came in 2nd place. So I haven't forgotten anyone. Next week will be how to do a countdown clock in Final Cut Pro. All right, okay, bye.